At one point in the 90s, half of all CDs produced had this company's logo on them.
At their peak, they registered a new user every 6 seconds.
And 2 million people still use their service as recently as 2015.
What company is it? Find out next on Sarah's Wiki Corner podcast.
It is time for Sarah's Wiki Corner, today brought to you by Niblack Foods in the Genesee Valley Regional Market. Sarah, what are we learning about today on your Wiki Corner?
Well, we actually posted about this on Facebook yesterday. We posted about Elwood Edwards, who died this week. Now, you definitely don't know his name, but you've definitely heard his voice if you've ever used AOL, which so many people obviously have.
Sure.
Because he recorded AOL's iconic "You've Got Mail" sound.
You've got mail.
That's his voice, yes.
Well, that was my voice.
His voice. But that was a good impression of it.
Thank you.
That was good. So Edwards started in radio when he was in high school, and after he continued into television, working as a live booth announcer. Despite some on-air work, including a car commercial, reporting news or sports, and a short stint as a weatherman, he focused mainly on off-camera work.
Sure.
His wife worked at Quantum Computer Services, which eventually became AOL. In 1989, she overheard the former CEO of America Online discussing adding a voice to the upcoming AOL software, and she volunteered her husband.
Sure.
So his greetings included, "Welcome, you've got mail, you've got pictures, you've got voicemail, files done, and goodbye." And all of those were recorded in his own living room on a cassette deck.
I love it. Just on a cassette deck.
Right
Fisher
there in
Price,
his living
perhaps.
room.
And you know what's funny? If you listen to the audio back to that, you can kind of tell it's not like digital where it's really crisp.
Yeah.
And there's just there's actually like crackle sound in the background. Which is true cassette audio. It's fantastic.
That's right. Yeah. So AOL initially served only users of Apple computers, Macintosh, and Apple II machines, expanding to include personal computers running Windows in 1993.
Yes.
They grew in popularity throughout the 90s, becoming the leading internet service provider in the United States. And a major reason for that was their direct marketing campaign, which launched in 1993.
Which was on point.
Totally on point.
I mean, your mailbox was always full.
They were everywhere you went.
CD-ROMs.
Literally everywhere you went. Yeah. In those days, back in the early 90s, people didn't really know what the internet was. And so it was difficult to explain it succinctly in a commercial or a billboard or a print ad. Because how do you even do that? How would you do that?
It's a series of pipes and tubes through which information
I mean,
flows.
I don't think anyone still understands how. I don't know how the internet works.
You're right.
But
no idea.
It was much more effective to let customers try it out firsthand using a free 500, 750, or 1,000-hour trial. Get them hooked.
You get that 1,000,
you're hooked.
Good to go.
The trial campaign cost $250,000 and had an average response of over 10% uptake, with some mailing lists pulling as high as 16 to 18%.
Pretty good.
This prompted the company to expand the campaign beyond direct mailing and start working with non-conventional distribution partners, such as airlines and cereal companies.
Airlines?
Yeah.
It's like the one place where you can't. So what would they do? Just give you like a CD-ROM on the plane?
I don't know. And they were in cereal boxes, apparently. I remember them being I feel like I remember them being out like at stores, like a stack of them being like on the counter.
Just grab it on your way out?
I guess so.
Grab
but I definitely remember them coming in the mail.
Oh,
also.
Definitely. Yeah, right.
At one point, 50% of the CDs produced worldwide had an AOL logo.
Oh my gosh.
That is how many CDs they used. According to some estimates, AOL spent about $35 on every new customer with these CDs, and they eventually got to a point where they were registering a new user every 6 seconds, turning AOL into a $150 billion company in a matter of years.
That's fantastic.
By the year 2000, AOL was providing internet service to over 20 million customers, dominating the market of internet service providers.
And it makes you think they must be doing so well today.
Right. In 2001, at the height of its popularity, it purchased Time Warner in the largest merger in U.S. history.
Good move.
AOL shrank rapidly thereafter, partly due to the decline of dial-up and the rise of broadband. Yeah. In 2015, Verizon acquired AOL for $4.4 billion, and they sold it to a private equity firm in 2021. And in September of that year, AOL became part of the new Yahoo. Inc.
Wow.
So
Just a merger of two titans of 20 years ago.
Correct. So AOL was at one point the most recognized brand on the web in the United States.
Yeah, on the web, yeah.
On the web.
Back in the day.
By October of 1997, AOL Mail was the world's largest email provider with around 9 million subscribers. AOL once provided dial-up internet service to millions of Americans and pioneered instant messaging and chat rooms with AOL Instant Messenger, which I for sure used in high school. Even like in college, we were still using AIM. It was like
what a game changer.
I know. While 2.1 million people still used AOL's dial-up service as recently as 2015.
Oh, stop with your silliness.
Only a few thousand were still subscribed as of 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet.
I can't even, I don't know how that's possible.
Imagine that screeching sound of the dial-up internet.
I can still hear it right now.
Oh, imagine having to do that every day.
And like not use your phone.
We're so spoiled.
And not use your phone.
I know,
because
right?
you didn't have cell phones back then.
You didn't?
You just had no phone while you were on the internet.
One or the other.
And now the internet is on your phone. So.
Wow. It's like we're just living in the future. Like we're spacemen and spaceman ladies.
Yes.
You picked out a record to go along with the AOL, did you? And Elwood Edwards, please.
Yes.
Let's not forget about him.
Yes. So we're going to play Sending All My Love by Linear.
Oh, because you could send it via email.
Yes.
Very slowly.
Very slowly.
Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome.
All right. There it is. AOL.
Blast from the past with some of those graphics on there. Holy cow.
Elwood. Yeah. Remember all the little. Remember you would go online and. Well, I would go online and I didn't know what to do. Like you would get there.
Well, there weren't many websites back then.
No.
Were there? I mean, there was no social media. There was no social network. There was nothing.
There's a great video from the Today Show. It's
yes.
Is it Katie Couric and Brian Gumbel?
I think so. Trying to explain.
And they don't know how to read an email address because they're giving up.
They don't know
Today
what
Show.
the @ sign is, right? Yeah.
That's so funny.
I know.
And then the .com, they didn't know. Yeah, it's pretty funny video. Anyway, today's Wiki Corner brought to you by our friends at Niblag Foods in the Genesee Valley Regional Market. Fall is here, and I don't know. What are people making in the fall, Sarah?
Well,
what do they need from Niblag?
Well, right now, a lot of people, I guess, are stocking up on baking needs for the holidays, right? So, stock up now so you don't have to worry about it later.
Perfect.
They have all the things you need for your baking. They've got pie fillings. They've got baking essentials, like there are 40 different kinds of flour.
Gosh.
Hard to find ingredients. Yeah. Lots and lots of stuff.
See, here's the thing with the flour, right? Sometimes you may think that whatever you're making uses this kind of flour, and you're going to go into Niblax, and I would just ask somebody there and say, look, this is what I'm making. Am I using the right kind of flour? Mm-hmm. And you may be astounded to find there's a better flour for what you're doing.
It's true.
And I don't understand it because I don't understand much about cooking.
Yeah.
But I do know our friends at Niblax know so much about it.
They sure do.
They're good people.
Yes.
And they're open tomorrow, of course. Don't forget about that.
Yeah.
Don't forget about that.
Did you use AIM, or was that after your time?
There you go. There's an old joke. No, I used AIM.
You did?
Yeah, because we had a Mac computer.
Whoa.
Back when Macs were uncool. Oh. I've been exactly the reverse. So we had a Mac computer, like the black and white screen, the tall one with a floppy disk in the front.
Yeah.
I had that. And everybody else had IBMs, and they had all the cool games and the color monitors and everything. And I had a Mac, and then I got a PC. And then about the same time, Apple became really cool.
Do you remember when the Macs used to be like cool colors?
Like the monitor was like, yes.
Like blue or...
Did you have one of those?
I did not, but I always thought they looked cool.
Yeah, they did look cool. But if you had one now, you'd look like you were...
Oh my gosh.
Living in a museum.
Yeah, it's funny because I was thinking about AIM as I was looking this up, because that was really, like, even through college is what I used, because, like, even back then, like, texting in the, mid 2010s, texting wasn't like a big thing back then.
And
like, nobody had smartphones back then.
Remember when you had like 50 texts a month or something like that?
Yeah, right.
World.
And it was like free Verizon to Verizon.
Was it caveman times?
I know.
How did we survive?
I don't know. And you had to like press the button 6 times to get to the letter you wanted. And
yeah, what do they call that? There's some kind of texting with the numbers.
I don't know. It was a nightmare.
All right, stand by. We're coming back.
Yes.
Legends 1027, the biggest hits in the history of the world. The group is called Linear, and the song is Sending All My Love. Sarah, do you remind us, why did we just play that record?
Because we were talking about Elwood Edwards and AOL.
Yeah, we sure were. Let's recap 3 things we must take away from today's Wiki Corner. Are you ready?
Yes.
Go.
All right. Elwood Edwards recorded his iconic AOL greetings on a cassette deck in his living room.
At one point in the 90s, 50% of the CDs produced were worldwide had an AOL logo on them.
And 2.1 million people still somehow used AOL's dial-up service as recently as 2015.
They were the most patient people in the world. You would be able to identify them. I mean, how slow must it go?
I can't even imagine.
I mean, here in the office, we had Spectrum up until a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
It was like 100 megabits per second upload and download speed, and still we'd be like, this is so slow.
Yeah.
And that is like a bazillion times
You had to wait
faster.
like 5 minutes for one website to load back then.
Not to mention actually dialing up to the internet.
Yeah.
You didn't want to stay connected because you were waste time, so when you were done, you disconnect.
Well, what if you were expecting a call?
Right, what if you were expecting?
You had to plan it out. I did with my parents. Like, can I go on the internet? No, I'm expecting a call. Oh, okay. Let me know when you're done then, so I can go on the internet. A different time.
Sounding very old.
Yeah.
Folks want to learn more about Elwood Edwards. Sarah, where did we go? What do we do?
Well, you can go to my Wiki blog. If you go to legends1027.com on the homepage, there's a link that takes you to my blog where I post everything I talk about every day.
And, of course, you can always watch us on Facebook, unless you're on AOL dial-up, in which case, good luck with that. We're on Facebook Live every day at 4:10, so you can watch what goes on behind the scenes. And we archive this stuff up at YouTube. Search Sarah's Wiki Corner. It's made possible by our friends at Niblack Foods in the Genesee Valley Regional Market. You're taking the weekend off?
I am. Are you?
Yes, I think
okay,
so. But back on Monday.
Absolutely.
Fresh episode at 4:10. Looking forward to it. Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome.
Fleetwood Mac and Phil Collins, Love and Rockets, and a lot more on the way between now and the weekend, which is only about 32 minutes away on Legends 1027. Hey,